What's up, you data-hungry Amazon sellers? This is your host, Tommy Berenger of the Sell, Rank, Win podcast from Merchant Words. And in this podcast, we give you the answers to your most burning questions, actionable insights that you can take away and implement into your business today. So let's go ahead and dive right into today's episode. What do you say? Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sell, Rank, Win podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Berenger. And as always, we have a very, very special guest on with us today. My next guest, she is a mass retail specialist and has been helping buyers both online and in brick and mortar stores bring innovative products and brands to market for over 17 years. She now has her own company that helps people to create their own successful brands on Amazon and Walmart. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Jennifer Ruskin. How are you doing today, Jennifer?
I'm awesome, Tommy. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Everyone at Merchant Words was like, you wrote in and then everyone was like, oh, she's great. We got to have her on. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And, today we're going to let everybody know we're going to be talking about the Prime Day stuff, Prime Day prepping and all that fun stuff. I just, before we dive in, I'm really curious to know how you got into selling on Amazon and Walmart.
Okay. Honestly, I've been selling into mass retail my entire adult life. I started in 2005, right after that's not even true. I was going to say after I got my master's degree, but that's not even true. I got my undergrad and master's while working for Walmart home office. And so for like 17 years now, I've worked either directly for or with Walmart. And Tommy, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, it became harder and harder and harder to get a buyer meeting with Walmart. And all of a sudden, Amazon came on the scene in such a big way that I realized, what if I used Amazon as a launch pad to really grow my items and grow my brands? If I could get them in the top 5 or 10, surely Walmart would want to have a meeting, right? Like at this point, I'm just trying to get a meeting with Walmart. And it worked. And so that's what we do. That's really our strategy is we rank and we ramp on Amazon. And then when we're ready, we go to Walmart. And it's really become a great strategy.
Very cool. So get in there with Amazon first and then say, hey, Walmart, we're doing really good on Amazon over here. You might want to check us out so you could bring in some of this revenue, right? Is that kind of the deal there?
Totally. And this method applies to any retailer that you want to be in if that's your strategy. I mean, I have a lot of clients that only want to, they'll launch on Amazon for the first time ever. And a lot of times they don't ever want to go into a brick and mortar. But then other times there's clients that are so hungry to get some brick and mortar placement, whether it be, Whole Foods or mom and pop grocery stores or Target or Home Depot or Lowe's. I mean, all of those are great to just start with Amazon. Really understand how working with a retailer works. And so Amazon's a great testing ground, as you know, and then go take your experience self into a brick and mortar.
Why do you think it's so hard to get into Walmart? They need to see some proof. Like, I mean, they're trying to cross their T's and dot their I's a little too much, I think, no? Or what do you think?
No, that's a great question. So I always say Walmart doesn't want to be your first. They don't want to be your first. They want to be like your 10th, okay? You got to get all that nervous, when you want to go on a date and you're all nervous about approaching somebody. Walmart wants you to get all that nervousness out, really understand supply chain and logistics, understand how to use EDI, get all that complicated stuff out of the way, then go approach them. And one other thing Walmart wants is for you to go do the grunt work of letting customers know who you are. So you have to build you have to build demand first and then go to Walmart and say, hey, all these people are looking for our products. We deserve to be on your shelf.
So they're basically, that's how they're mitigating risk is just, okay, totally. So let me see what have you done lately? So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine. Let's take you on. And you know what? I think just going into this, I think I need to bring you on again, because I know this is going to be like a Prime Day focused podcast, but I would love to have you on to discuss Walmart. I mean, I know a lot of Amazon sellers have scaled into Walmart. Mm-hmm. And then maybe, this is your expertise here. So I think we're going to bring Jennifer on again. She doesn't know that I want to bring her on again here, but I think we're talking a lot about Walmart. It's getting my brain working. And I'm like, you know what? I think it might be smart to get a Amazon and Walmart expert expert on here, and of course Jennifer is. But today is going to be surrounded around Prime Day. But that is very cool to know, and I think we can do an entire podcast just on the Amazon or just on the Walmart stuff for sure. All right, so let's talk Prime Day. As of today, I have not found out any exact date. I've just heard it's in June. Obviously, that could change. What have you heard? What do you think?
Yeah, it's tricky. And of course, like you said, everything's hypothetical. My gut tells me that Amazon is now against COVID numbers from last year when everybody and their mother moved on to online to purchase things, and we have pretty much abandoned our brick and mortar stores. So I've been telling my clients, end of June, just at least so they're prepared. I've heard some rumblings about July. I mean, who knows? It could even be August. But Tommy, I think because you and I work with clients every day, we from the Vendor Central and Seller Central sides, we know that Amazon has been requesting inventory for Prime Days now. This is the last month to get it in. So I say better to be safe than sorry and start preparing right now for June.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I shot a video on that just regarding the key dates that everyone needs to be aware of for each marketplace to get your inventory into the FBA warehouse if you are doing FBA. And I think the last date is May 31st, and I think that's for the US. I could be mistaken. I don't have those numbers or those dates right in front of me, but I think that's what it is. So that's why I think the talks have been about June. Possibly July, possibly August. Who knows? It's going to be Christmas in the summertime is what Amazon likes to do, right? So, so for our newbies or people who just have not heard about Prime Day, can you just let them know what Prime Day exactly is?
I'd love to. And it's actually not just one day. I know a lot of people are confused about that. It's not like it's Christmas Day. It's like Christmas days that turns into a week. It's actually several days that then lead into a bigger week, like a cyber week, with phenomenal deals. So Prime Day is Amazon's Christmas or Super Bowl if you're a sports fan. The majority of revenue for the entire year on Amazon comes from these days, and shoppers expect to find their favorite items on Amazon, plus giftable items, and they expect for them to be on sale. So we're currently working with our clients right now on Prime Day strategies. We talked this morning about Prime Day deals and some other things, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. The revenue that is generated just in this a short few amount of days on Prime Day. And if you're selling electronics, make sure you listen to this entire podcast because electronics is going to be have the hugest uptick from that's my prediction from all the past Prime Days. Electronics are always going crazy for sure, and of course it depends on what category you're selling in. You should usually see an uptick, but no matter what category you're selling in, but electronics for sure. So Jennifer, what are some steps that our listeners can take to prepare for Prime Day? I know this is a broad question. I know we're going to dive in deep here a bit. So what can they do? Maybe the first thing and just kind of take it from there.
Okay. I'm so glad that you asked me this. I've actually prepared a list of 5 best practices to prepare for Prime Days. And all 5 of these things can be done right now.
Awesome.
I just came off of a client call right before we've recorded this together, Tommy. And so I'm really fresh with exactly what we need to be talking about here. And
listen
the number
up, people.
one thing,
listen up.
Listen up. The number one thing is grow your email list. Install an email capture form on your website. Now, I'm assuming that your website is getting some sort of traffic here, but you later on want to have this list to email blast Prime Day deals. I love marketing, and I'm always listening to online marketing podcasts. And Jenna Kutcher talked a few years ago about for every one name, every one email address that you have on your marketing list, it equals an extra $1 a month in sales. So if you want an extra $1 million a year, get a bunch of subscribers. You got to really work on this. It's really, really important. So Tommy, what do you think about email marketing? Is it one of your favorite tools?
Oh, I think email marketing is, some people think might have that first thought that it's a bit antiquated, but do not leave email marketing off of your list. It's always good to have an email list and nurture that email list. Just provide value to them. Don't always be selling something, but value, and then hit them with the sell, or like or a coupon, I should say. And it is so important to have an email list. There's so many ways you can grow an email list. Doing it via Facebook groups. I mean, that's a whole entire other podcast we could speak on, right? But
yeah, for sure.
No, Jennifer, it is so important to create an email list and then nurture that email list and then reach out to them. Say, hey, by the way, it's 10% off for Prime Day. Use this code or whatnot. But yes, very important.
Wonderful point. So you want to start to capture those emails now. And no matter how small your list is, whether it's 5 people, 50 people, 500 people, 50,000 people, whatever, start to have a conversation with them right now, because Tommy's right. You don't want to pop into their email box for the first time like a jerk and be like, hey guys, buy all my stuff on, Amazon for Prime Days. It's very much, again, like dating. You want to warm them up. You want to talk about things that are important to them. You want to add a lot of value so that when you do ask for the sale, when you do ask for them to go hop on over to Amazon to see your amazing Prime deals, they feel connected enough to you to want to actually go take the next step, click over to Amazon.
Yeah. Have that kind of, it sounds weird, but building kind of an emotional connection with them, knowing your customer persona, knowing who, the avatar, who is your customer, what are they dressed like, what is their age range, and then when you reach out to them via email, you want to provide the value that speaks to them, that speaks to that persona, and that's how you build that kind of emotional connection. And they're going to want to continue to buy from you, love your brand. Love any other products that you have to launch. And if you start scaling your brand, you can start selling to that same persona. If it's still in the same, if it's in the same space, that is, it speaks to that persona, of course.
Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. And if you don't have any idea what we're talking about a customer avatar / persona / whoever your ideal customer is, my gift to you guys, and this will be in the show notes, is actually my Retail Success program. I mean, it's free. So you'll go through it. It's called the Retail Success Challenge. And the very first day is all about your ICA, your ideal customer avatar. Who are they? Who is she? How old is she? What is she like? Does she have kids? Is she married? Does she have, did she go to college?
What kind of concerts do they go to? It's like you got to dig into them. That's how you build that emotional connection. You got to know everything about them. What food do they eat? Do they eat in the morning? Do they not? Do they fast? I mean, like I sound crazy right now, but you got me going on the avatar stuff. And it's just so important to know your customer persona. And that's how, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you want to make sure that you're providing long-term value for your customer, and then they're going to love you for it. And then especially when you give them a deal, they're going to come right back to you.
Oh, absolutely. And we're not even talking yet about marketing, but making sure that you're marketing to the right customer on each platform even. Tommy, I've had my customers cull their analytics from Instagram, and then we cull the analytics from Amazon. And sometimes they're two totally different shoppers. Yep. Amazon might lean a little bit older, or it might lean a little bit younger. And all of a sudden we look at their marketing and the images that we're using, and they're totally wrong. And so, that's another piece, and that's probably a whole nother podcast. Maybe we'll record that at one day.
That is a whole entire other. I might need to have you back on like multiple times here. Sounds like. All right. So grow your email list, reach out to your email list if you have one. And then if not, start getting some emails, start capturing some emails. And Jennifer, like she said, she can help you with that on one of her free courses there. So what else here for Prime Day? What else do we need to prep? How can we prep?
Coincidentally, this all leads into number 2, which is understand who your shoppers actually are by installing Google Analytics onto your website. It is free. If you have a website that does not allow for a Google Analytics plugin, your website is too old and you're using a very old system. So, go check out Shopify. There's a bunch of other places, Squarespace, Wix. I mean, all of these are going to have a Google Analytics plugin. And it's really, really, really important that you start to capture who is hitting your website so that you can later go back and retarget them with some ads. Maybe you want to give them an ad for Prime Day. You can do that if you have a Google Analytics plugin. Okay. And number 3 is really more Amazon focused again, and it's spruce up your listings with relevant sales converting keywords by using tools like merchant words. So don't forget that keywords like, gifts for mom, gifts for dad, gifts for aunt, that kind of thing are also important during this kind of a time because people are future buying gifts during Prime Days. It's the biggest gift purchasing days, because we know it's more than one day, days of the year on Amazon. Last year for Prime Days, I bought every single thing I needed for every single human on my list during Prime Day in October. And it was done for the whole year. It was fantastic. I mean, you can even have Amazon gift wrap things for you. Then you make Christmas really easy. So think like a shopper and do these things now to start to spruce your listings up. I mean, I don't know that you want to put gifts for mom in today, but maybe, a week before or a couple weeks before, that might be a good solution.
Yeah, no, my wife always likes to get her Christmas shopping done. Most of it on Prime Day. So
yeah,
she can attest to that for sure.
Yeah, definitely helps relieve the stress around holidays. So number 4, I have update your A+ content if it's been a while. If it's feeling kind of cobwebby out there, you haven't updated your A+ content in a year or so, make sure that it's relevant. Sometimes I land on item pages and maybe the product is from a different country or maybe a product that just feels old. Your customers, if assuming you want them to be, relevant, perfect ICA, ideal customer avatars, you have to make sure that your branding on your pages, especially in the A+ content, is relevant and up to the times. Like, please don't add pictures from 1990. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, just going back to number 3 really quick, sprucing up your listing.
Mm-hmm.
I do a video, a walkthrough on how to do this pretty quickly in a streamlined way. Maybe you don't even know of this workflow that I've been doing, and it's a really quick and easy way. Especially make sure you guys update your title. That is the number one thing, and then also just kind of pepper some keywords, update it throughout the rest of the listing. But I will link that video as well, and I will send it off to you as well, Jennifer.
Perfect. Hey, I'm really glad that you said that. I just thought of something that I feel like I need to add in here. Check back into your listings and into the back end of your listings frequently because Amazon changes character counts and titles and bullets all the time. I was auditing a lady's account in sewing earlier this week. She sells like yarn. And I went into the back end of her account, and all of a sudden, she can have 250 characters in her title for that particular category. And then, but I could tell whoever had originally built her listings only had 100. We have an extra 150 keywords now that we can add into her title. And I went into her bullets and it was like, Tommy, it was the opposite. They had written it for like 250 characters. And now all of a sudden there were only 100 characters available, but she had multiple bullets available outside of 5. I could add like 10. It was the weirdest thing. I've never seen a template like that before. So every category is completely different. Amazon is constantly changing character count by category as well, and just structurally what that page looks like. So make sure that at least a few times a year you're going in and making sure that your character counts actually fit what Amazon's requirements are. And so that doesn't, mess with your optimization.
And be careful. Try not to go over the character count because it will not register and you could become de-indexed for those keywords. So be careful of that.
Yes, for sure. Are we ready for number 5?
Yes, let's do it. Let's bring it. Let's do it.
So this falls in line with your A+ content. It's your storefront. So it's a great time to get into your storefront and do some housekeeping. Some things I noticed that are not appropriate as seasons changed is making sure that your storefront is actually seasonally relevant. So if it's summertime, make sure you don't have people in sweaters with mugs of hot chocolate on your storefront. It really feels inappropriate to the consumer and it feels like you don't know them. So as we move into the summer months, go ahead and get in there and start to update the images. Have another photo shoot if you need to, and make sure that it looks good. Another thing to consider are all of your current items included in your storefront? Have you remembered to add them and pull them through? And then are your old items deleted? Like nothing looks worse than when you get on a storefront and there's this weird like image issue because there's like old pictures, like they're not even pulling through anymore. And it's like, it just looks weird. So make sure that your old items are also deleted. And then I have one more piece of advice, and that's to include a reason to interact and stay within the storefront, like including recipes, instructions, videos. That yarn lady that I worked with earlier this week is going to even add sewing patterns for her yarn
Oh,
to
very cool.
really keep that customer engaged in the storefront.
Yeah, and knowing your customer persona, there you go. Just speaking right to them with that. That's perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. And you said that you have these 5 tips linked up somewhere. We can link that, I think,
Yes.
back to wherever it's going, correct? Okay.
Yeah, we'll make
perfect.
sure it's in the show notes.
Yes. So guys, we will have this all for you so you can just, breeze over it with your eyes. All right. So going into coupons, lightning deals, Prime Day deals, what do you recommend there? Is there something that you should do and not the other? I know in the past, right? So I know in the past, lightning deals didn't work for me. So I don't use lightning deals anymore. But the coupons do work. So I guess it's kind of, what category you're selling in, what product are you selling? And also, I mean, the customer persona again, right? So I want to see what is your take on coupons, lightning deals, Prime Day deals, and all that fun stuff.
Okay, great question. So we started at the beginning of this podcast talking about ways to prepare for Prime Days right now. One way to prepare now is to start to really get your sales moving and your momentum up. And to do that, I love coupons. Tommy, we feel like the best value in a marketing capacity on Amazon is coupons. You get ROI off of them. They don't cost very much money. They're fantastic. Everybody loves a good coupon, and it's so easy to click it and add it to cart. Would I do a coupon during Prime Day? Well, as we get closer and closer to that time frame, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Prime Day deals. It was something new that Amazon did last year. If they did it before then, I just have never noticed. But as a shopper, I definitely noticed Prime Day deals, and they were different than just clipping a coupon. So different that on Prime Day, Prime Days, because there was more than one day, when I would search for a particular item or category like PS4 remote or whatever for my kids' football helmet, whatever I was looking for. In the upper right-hand corner, I could click only show me Prime Day deals. And I guarantee millions of shoppers did the same thing that I did and only filtered on those deals. So for this year, instead of doing a coupon, if you were able to apply for a Prime Day deal and you get it, I would definitely make sure that that's your primary marketing solution for this time frame. Tommy, have you played with Prime Day deals at all?
I have not, but I know that it works very well for some brands. What I have found actually that has been working for me historically is just lowering my price. I mean, and sometimes not even offering a coupon, because when the buyers are searching through Amazon, sometimes if they gravitate towards, of course, if you see that coupon ticket there, that's always going to make their eyes gravitate towards it. But if they see a lower price, a dramatically lower price compared to the rest of your competitors, they'll go over there and most likely buy before the other competitors. Of course, there's other variables in play like reviews and things like that. But I have found that has worked for me. And also, like I like to take this. I like to take Prime Day as a chance to help my organic ranking. And doing that by lowering your price, you're going to get pushed up. So even if I'm only making $1, I know that the volume is coming, and also it's going to help my organic ranking on Amazon.
That's a great strategy. That's one that we don't use or haven't used, but I like that. So for some of our clients that may not want to have Prime Day deal even show up on their listing, I know for a lot of my clients that are in brick and mortar, other buyers and other retailers are watching their listings. So I like the idea of maybe just doing a quick price drop for that time period.
Yeah, and then of course, if there's a lot of Prime Day deals showing up in your category, they'll probably get the bulk of the sales, but make sure that you're pricing accordingly, or you're doing a Prime Day deal yourself, or adding a coupon. Coupons and lowering my price have worked for me historically, and I think I'm going to continue to do that until it doesn't work. So if it isn't broken, then don't fix it, I guess, right?
I agree. Yeah, very much like the Prime availability badge and that like toggle switch that you can do on Amazon to search for only Prime items. The Prime Day deals is exactly the same way during Prime Day, where you toggle on and off. So it is kind of a visibility thing, if people are searching in that way. I did want to make a point as well to reiterate with you, like to confirm, we also are not seeing any. I mean, your lightning deals are basically dead. I think there are so many of them that the customer is kind of like immune to it. And that there's so many, you can't really see them. They're all like compounded. So we don't do lightning deals anymore either.
I don't do, I think I did it once and I lost, I mean, not a bunch of money, but I definitely was in the red after it. So yeah. So, I'm not going to do them anymore, I think. But yeah, coupons, Prime Day deals, and lower your price. I apologize for any kids in the background. We're doing homeschooling here, so
you're totally fine. We only do lightning deals now for Launchpad clients. So if you're part of the Launchpad program, they offer lightning deals for free. You don't have to pay that initial fee to be part of the program. So we'll do them just because we can, but the sales are still really minimal. So anyway, I agree with you.
Totally agree. Okay, awesome.
Now, I do have.
Yes.
Go ahead. I don't want
to.
No,
go ahead. No, okay. Please go ahead.
I do have a list of 5 things that I want for you to deploy for Prime Days. So this would be like leading up to the week before, things that you're going to swap out. The first one is create a Prime Days storefront banner to direct your external traffic to. So this would be on the homepage of your website or of your storefront, or if your storefront has like a deals tab where you're putting items in there just specifically that will be on sale during Prime Days, go ahead and create a fun banner that has your products in it that says, Amazon Prime Day sales or something like that. We've found a lot of success doing that, and it doesn't take a whole lot of energy, effort, or money to create that. So try that. The other thing that I like to do is we've already talked about discounting, so I don't want to talk about that. The next thing on my list would be to send a Prime Day email blast to your external email list. So at the beginning of this podcast, we were talking about start now to develop an email list, create an email capture form on your website, plug in your Google Analytics so you can start retargeting these people. The goal is to get a nice, robust email list. Hundreds of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, whatever that means for you and your brand today. Maybe set a goal of how many emails you can get before now and then. The easiest, cheapest way to drive traffic during Prime Days and actually get sales conversion is through email marketing. So I want you to create an email blast for that. Maybe you send it out the week before, you send it out the day before, and then all during Prime Week, send out an email every day, if not every other day, reminding them, because your customers, they're busy, they're forgetful, they really do want to buy your products. So don't feel like you're bothering them, but just a little ping like, hey guys, just a reminder. And then on the last day, maybe, hey guys, you only have 12 hours left to buy. This is our last big discount of the year kind of thing to really help propel sales. That's it. That's all I've got, because you're already at this point have signed up for Prime Day deals or a lightning deal or done your couponing strategy. So those are the last things I'll leave you with.
That is awesome stuff. And then also going back to the emailing your customers, the ones that want to hear from you, their inbox is full. Just remember that. And if the ones who, unsubscribe, then, that's totally fine. You don't want to keep hitting people who want to unsubscribe anyways. You're trimming the fat there. So, just just like Jennifer said, keep hitting them with these emails leading up to Prime Day. It will be beneficial for you if you do have that email list. So really quick on inventory, what do you think, what do you think you should do? Should you double down? What are your thoughts on inventory for Prime Day?
This is a tricky one. I mean, if you've been through Prime Days in the past, you might have some kind of an idea of how much inventory to stock up on. I've seen some really crazy sales increases, but it just totally depends on the category that you sell in. Some of my clients I've seen, double sales, especially on the best sellers. So for me in food in particular, it's definitely those variety packs. We're driving trial. If outside of a variety pack, if you have like a certain flavor or color that really tends to be a bestseller, I would lean heavy into inventory on those, because think about what your previous sales have been. Think about the fact, I'm assuming that you have a consumable product here, right? Think about the fact that your shoppers that love you and are kind of that cult following, maybe the ones in your email marketing list, they're going to go back and purchase their favorite. So their favorite colors or flavors or scents or whatever. So you've kind of got two different shoppers that come to find you on that week. And it's your loyal shoppers and it's potential shoppers. So I would say lean into the best of the best sellers as well as anything in a variety pack format. And that may mean doubling, that may mean, tripling even, just depends on your sales. Tommy, I wanted to kind of get your feedback on this question because I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. So for me, I like to try to double down on the inventory that I usually send in. So if I'm sending in 1,000 units, I'll try and do 2,000. And I know I'm going to sell, regardless. But just to be prepared there, and that usually works for me. So just doubling down on the inventory works for me.
And I have some news of an update that Amazon just did in the shipping plan section. So even just a few days ago, when you went into the shipping plan, you were creating your shipping plan, Amazon would max out and tell you, they'd put a cap on the number of units that you could send in per item. That is gone. It is now a total number of units, your max capacity as a seller, which I have found actually doubled on a lot of my clients. They're getting a lot more inventory space. And so you can choose yourself what kind of items you want to put in there. So that's huge.
Yes, no, absolutely. I just noticed that as well. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, it was such a pain. Like I could only, it was kind of almost the first time I think that I used a 3PL. And a 3PL, for people who don't know who that is just a third party logistics company that you fly, because I usually fly straight from China to my Amazon FBA warehouse because, I get inspections and I have a good relationship with everyone over there, my manufacturers and so forth. Anyway, so I had to start shipping it to a 3PL because I needed them to hold it because I was only able to send in a certain amount at a time. So it's kind of a pain, but now we're freed up and or I could send much more in now. So, which is very cool.
Yay. I mean, for the first time in over a year, we're finally feeling relief on the inventory side. So
yes,
yay.
yes, absolutely. All right. So we're going to start to wrap this up. I know you got some kiddos to pick up from school. I got some school happening at my house over here. So, the times of COVID, what we got to do here. Right. So I always like to get a tip or a trick or some type of life hack from our guest, just something that our listeners could take away and implement into their lives or into their business right away. So Jennifer, what do you got for us?
Awesome. So my tip is really for anybody that hasn't really fully leaned heavily into merchant words, maybe someone that's a beginner seller with Amazon. And so I'd say that if you feel like your listings on Amazon are feeling stuck, sales just aren't happening, it's probably because your keywords aren't correct. And if you've dreamed your keywords up yourself, remember that you're projecting your own perspective and life experience onto Amazon and their shoppers and your listings. So instead, I want to recommend that you use some data. It's super affordable, actually. And I want you to start with merchant words. I mean, we do, and we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Amazon sellers. So I'm going to include my affiliate link below, just so you guys know I don't actually make any money off of this. But Merchant Words has been such a great partner to me that they gave me this affiliate link. And for less than $100 a year, y'all, they charge that almost a month in Merchant Words. For less than $100 a year, you can have Merchant Words. And I use it every day. Every single person on my team uses it all day long. It's the first place that we go to figure out if a product is even worth selling based on search volume. And then they have an easy way to download a CSV of the relevant keywords for your category or for your item. And then you can just use that list in your titles, your bullets, your back-end keywords, and your manual ads. So get after it.
Very cool. Thank you, Jennifer. And I promise everyone, I did not tell her to say any of that, but that's very awesome to hear all of the success that you're having with our software, with Merchant Words' software. Yeah. Very happy to hear that. And so now if someone wants to contact you, Jennifer, and kind of, try and see maybe how they can, get successful on Amazon and in Walmart, where can they find you? Where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm Jennifer Kalo Ruskin everywhere. I've got a website. I'm on all the social media channels. I'm on LinkedIn. Please just connect with me and send me a DM. I also have a free retail success challenge. I referenced that earlier in our conversation. It's 6 days of emails and a little small homework assignment each day that gets you closer to your ideal shopper, which of course increases sales. So we'll make sure and add that link in the show notes below.
Very cool, Jennifer. I just want to thank you for coming on with us, taking time out of your very busy day. I think that we're going to have you on again to definitely talk some Walmart for sure. So I hope you're willing again to come on and can find some time. But just I wanted to say thank you so much from myself and from Merchant Words for coming on with us.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Thanks for having me.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, Jennifer.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. And if you got any value out of this podcast at all, please let us know at the place that you listen to it at, whether it be iTunes, Stitcher, whatever it is. Give us some love, give us an awesome review, and let us know maybe some things you want us to talk about on the next podcast. Until next time, guys, stay awesome and be awesome.